So, how do you use... Wow, okay, so... How do you use diminished, the diminished scale in your playing when you want to have that outside sound? And how do you use the diminished arpeggio? Again, this is a simple little trick that you can use right away. So basically when you're using the diminished scale, and the diminished scale is basically just a whole tone, a semitone, a whole tone, a semitone, a whole tone, a semitone until you come full circle, or it can be a semitone, a whole tone, a semitone, a whole tone, depending, and that's important because it depends on how you arrange those notes in relation to your main scale that is not out, right? So if you're playing over an A minor seventh, like here, and you're using the A minor scale or the A Dorian minor, it doesn't matter, then you basically play the A diminished scale starting with a whole tone, because those are the first three notes of the A minor scale, but it's also the first three notes of the A diminished scale where you have the whole tone first, right? Right? And if you just place it there, every time you have a minor third, basically, right, you can put it in there, or you can just simply go, okay, let me start with a scale shape I know. Doesn't matter what it is. Identify where your root note of that minor scale is, whether it be Dorian or natural minor, doesn't matter. And then start or put your diminished scale in there, and then practice going back and forth between your minor scale, right? And then back into your minor scale. You can use a lot of notes, and you can play fast lines with the very symmetrical diminished scale, or you can use just a couple of notes, right? That was not the diminished, by the way. Blues. Right? And if you're using the blues scale also, then that's all diminished as well, right? So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes of the blues scale are also diminished. Or you're adding the ninth to the blues scale. So if you're using the root, the ninth, and the minor third, right? And you're using the fourth, the flat fifth, and the fifth, which is basically a start of a minor scale, or a blues scale, but with the ninth added to it. Right? But if you play that, this is the last note, and then we go into pure diminished, because it's also... So let's just focus on this little area right now. I'm using fourth tuning, so the two top strings are tuned in a C and an F, so that's one semitone higher than the normal inconsequential tuning, standard tuning, where you have a B and an E string. So you have to move, if you're using standard tuning, you have to play everything I play on the two top strings, you have to move that up one fret, right? So you can basically just take two strings, just when I think about it, right? You can take the 7th, the 9th, and the 10th on the D string, and then you can play your first position blues scale shape there, so you can go 7, 8, and 9 on the G string. Right? Right? So that's your blues scale shape, you could say, but with the 9th added to it. You can also play a Dorian and play the 11th fret up there, so you go 7, 9, 10 on the D, and 7, 9, 11 on the G. Right? That would be the Dorian. And then you can play the diminished, which is basically almost the same, but you play 7, 9, 10 on the D, and then 7, 8, and 10 on the G string. You can take that same exact shape, that 6-note shape, and move it up in standard tuning to the 6th fret on the C string. So it's exact same. Right? So we got 7, 9, 10 on the D, 7, 8, and 10 on the G, 6, 8, 9 on the C string, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, sorry, on the F string. And you move that up one. In standard tune, just move it up one fret. So now that I have that, I can also mark out my blues scale, because that's just 2 whole tone intervals on the C and F string. Alright, so I have that. And now I have this. And and I have this. That's my diminished, right? And I can also play minor, Dorian minor, so I can play. I would play it that way, right? So I would play 7, 9, 10 on the D string, 7, 9 on the G, and then 6, 7, 9 on the C string, and 6, 7, 9 on the F string. And you move that up 1 fret if you're using standard. Right, that was the Dorian, and then we got the blues, and we got the diminished. Right? Okay, so now that we have established that, so we can start practicing, right? I can then go in and say, I got my A minor 7 in the background. And then I can say, let me play a little bit from the blues scale, then go into my diminished, and then back into the blues scale. Right? So I basically just construct a little random set of notes where I start home, move into the diminished, and back home again. Doesn't matter where it is in the blues scale. I can use the Dorian minor as well, so I go... And please notice where your diminished scale fits the notes of the Dorian minor perfectly, or the blues scale, right? So it fits in this case here perfectly on the bottom string, in this case my D string, but it also fits the top string perfectly. Those are also Dorian notes. So if I play this, just play the diminished scale from this little shape here, then I'm actually ending up on 2 Dorian notes. That's the Dorian scale. See, so I'm starting home and ending home just by playing the diminished scale. Right? Of course, the diminished scale is also very nice to play faster. Got these flurry runs, right, that sound out, and then they go back into phrasing into the home bass again. That's basically how to use the diminished scale to play out. But as with the melodic minor and the whole tone scale, you have to practice it to make your ear conform or get used to that sound. And the more you practice, and pick a good funk track with where you can use the blues scale and the Dorian, where that sounds natural, and then add the diminished on the root note, starting with the whole tone, and then investigate how those shapes fit together and go back and forth between diminished and home, whether it be blues scale or Dorian minor, right? That's the recipe. My name is Claus again, and I hope to see you in the next video, but not until you have subscribed. That's important. See you around.